Being able to sell standalone pay-per-views on OnlyFans is a super important skill to have in addition to selling sexting sequences. A lot of chatters and agencies tend to hyper-focus on just scripting everyone, but if you want to make the most money out of all your fans, you need to be able to sell in a variety of ways. In this video, I'm just going to share my system for selling single pay-per-views to more fans for more money, more of the time. First things first, it's going to help to understand when to use standalone pay-per-views and what the utility behind doing that is. We aim to use sexting sequences first because it's the most effective way of selling content to a fan in a way that makes the most money and it gets them coming back because it's exciting. But that's why it's so overused by chatters and agencies. When you're searching for opportunities on the account, you want to be checking the fan's pay-per-view history. So on inflow, it's in the bottom right. You just click the button there and you can look at what they've bought, what they haven't bought, and you can get a good idea of what their buying behavior is like. So if you've got a fan who doesn't finish sequences, let's say they buy the first 2 pay-per-views, first couple, they spend $50, whatever. You're going to be investing a lot of time into setting that sequence up for them to only spend $50. So in that case, it's probably better just to sell them one long video for a bit more, maybe 70, right? So you also don't want to sell sequences more than twice in a row. Like I was saying, don't overuse it. So if the person has bought, let's say 2 or 3 sequences in a row, let's see if we can sell them something else. And don't worry, we are going to be able to upsell them. It's not just going to be selling them one thing. It's just a different strategy, but we'll get to that. Subs who don't like sexting, it's also going to help for them because they probably just want a high value video for a one-off price and they don't want to go through the whole sequence thing. A lot of fans know what the sequences are at this point, so some of them don't really like them as much and they're going to be better for a standalone pay-per-view. There's also subs who prefer photos. Yes, you can have sequences that are mostly comprised of photos, but ultimately, if you can just sell them a photo set, it'll be easier and they'll probably prefer it. Once you've found who you want to sell a pay-per-view to, now we need to transition into that sale. This is the most important part of the entire process because it will make or break the whole sale, okay? So when you're selling content on OnlyFans, obviously you start off by having normal conversations with the subs, or you should be if your chatting's any good at all, right? But the thing with that is, if you're just having a normal conversation, then you randomly send content, it's going to seem like, okay, I want money now, which doesn't usually work that well. Ultimately, you need a good why. You need a good reason for why you're sending the content, and you almost want it to seem like their idea. Now, with, say, a sexting sequence or live sexting, that why is that this is what you're doing right now. So obviously you would send it. But with a standalone pay-per-view, that might not be the case. So we need to make our why. When we think about transitioning, we want to think more, how can I talk about what we would be doing if we were together, rather than how can I make this conversation sexual, right? And it will feel more natural. Instead of just going, oh, I'm just sitting on bed so horny, babe, you want to slowly start talking about what the creator and subscriber would be doing if they were together, and the conversation will just get sexual from there naturally. The first step in transitioning is making your plan. Choose the pay-per-view. Don't expect to get to a point where someone's going to buy something and then choose what you sell them. Actually choose the video, choose the photo set. It's going to make your transitioning much easier. So steer the conversation towards something relevant to that pay-per-view. And this must not be sexual, right? The whole premise of what we're doing here is not making it seem like we're just suddenly making the conversation sexual, right? So perhaps it's a shower pay-per-view, right? You could say, I need to have a shower, but I CBF. Let's say it's a pay-per-view in a specific type of clothing, heels, lingerie, something like that. I was online shopping for some X, but I can't choose. Maybe it's a bit more difficult. Maybe it's like a dildo video and you're like, I have no idea what I can say that isn't sexual. You could just say, oh, I'm trying to upload this video, but it won't work, right? If you make this sexual, you've already fucked it up, right? Once you've shifted the conversation, have just a 5-minute chat about the topic, just so the transition is smooth and nothing is sudden. Now, this is the pivotal moment. You want to ask a non-sexual, right? If you were here question. Remember how I was saying the point of the transition is to start talking about what they would be doing if they were together? This is how we do that. But we want to ask, basically all of this is setting up our if you were here question, right? Now, I want to give you some examples, but this is a bit cluttered, so just 2 seconds. For the shower pay-per-view, if you were here, would you make me go shower? For the pay-per-view in a specific outfit, would you help me choose if you were here? For the random dildo pay-per-view, be nice if you were here to help me upload it, right? You notice how none of those are sexual. Like, if you were here, would we have so much fun in the shower? I didn't say that, right? It's not about that. It's just about getting the conversation to if they were together. Where do you think these are going to go? Ultimately, on OnlyFans. If you say, if you were here, would you make me go shower? It's not your idea to make that sexual. I promise you, with a bit of prodding, or none at all, they will do it for you. Once you've asked your if you were here question, now it's time to start sexting with the fan to get them excited enough to buy the pay-per-view. But it's really important that when you're sexting, it's relevant to the conversation topic. For the shower pay-per-view, sexting about being in the shower together. For the clothing pay-per-view where she's wearing heels or lingerie or something, sexting about them being together but she's wearing heels or whatever. For the dildo sort of more generic pay-per-view, you can just do some generic sexting about if they were together, right? The actual way to sext, proper sexting, is you're pretty much taking them through this one story of if they were together where it all happens in order and it gets more exciting over time, right? You do this for sequences and you can still do it for this. I can't get into the full nitty-gritty of everything with sexting, so I've made an entire video right there, which I would strongly suggest you check out because I want you to understand this so you can use it, but it's super, super important. Your pay-per-view caption is that last little push to get the fan to buy, so it's really important that you get it right. But a lot of chatters will just throw any caption together, go, this sounds hot, that'll do. But they're probably missing out on a lot of really effective things you can do with a caption. The first thing being, you can use it to remove the pressure to buy the video. And you're probably thinking, Lachlan, you've lost the plot. Why the fuck would you not want the fan to feel pressured to buy the video? Because more pressure to buy leads to more resistance. If you've ever tried to sell something and they didn't initially buy it and you started saying, oh, but I really want you to see it. I made it just for you. Like, they're probably going to go, well, I really can't afford it. Right? Trying fans for pay-per-views a lot is okay, but as long as you don't pressure them or guilt trip them, right? If you just put it in front of them and you've got a good why, like I was saying before, a good contextual reason to send it to them, then you're just giving them the opportunity to see it, right? And they won't think they're being used for money. Here's a structure you can use for your single pay-per-views caption. For the first line, start with something to remove that pressure. That could be, here's an idea, but it's up to you, or no pressure, but I know you'll love this. Just something so that you're not telling them they have to buy it, okay? For the second line, link the pay-per-view to the conversation that you're having. This is your why. This is what I'm talking about. You set this up in your transition. So I'll just go through some examples. For that shower example I was talking about, thinking about showering with you made me remember this time when I did X, Y, and Z in the shower and it was so hot. Maybe that example where it's a heels or lingerie pay-per-view. All this talk about heels made me remember this time when I did X, Y, and Z in this new pair of heels I got. Anything, right? You just want to link it to the conversation so it seems contextual. So you don't just seem like you sent them anything. You were talking about this thing, then you sent something relevant. That's what you set up, okay? Next, you want to ask a question that implies that they'll watch it. That could be, could you resist eating it if I did this right in front of you? Then use their name, Paul. Could you resist eating it if I did this right in front of you, Paul? So you remove pressure, link to the conversation, ask a question that kind of, they could only answer it if they watched it, and then use their name at the end. Now, obviously you can change that up. you can mix it up a bit, and that's just a framework, but that will work quite well. I hope you're taking value from the video so far. If you are, I'd really appreciate it if you could leave this video a like. It helps me out a lot. I'm just trying to give you guys simple, no bullshit OFM advice, so if that's what you're after, consider subscribing, share it with your friends, and if you want any problems solved or videos made, just put them in the comments and I'll do my best to get to all of them. Thank you. If you want to make a lot of money, you need to learn to upsell every time you sell something. Now with a sexting sequence, that's easy because there's pre-recorded videos that you send in sequence. But with a standalone pay-per-view like this, it might not be clear on how to keep upselling. The trick is follow up instantly. The second that they unlock that pay-per-view, we want to be following up, sending them a message. Not in 30 seconds, not in 2 minutes when you get around to it. Drop what you're doing, send them a message, right? And you should do this whenever anyone unlocks anything. Mass pay-per-views. If someone unlocks one, instantly. Sequences, when they buy it, message, right? Get them onto the next one. Anything. Super important. A few things you can say are, you could say, now I've got an idea. And they'll go, oh yeah? Or you could say, want to know what I'd do next? That's more for if you're sexting, because then you can say, then I'd push you down on the bed and then I'd climb on your whatever, right? Want to know what I'd do next? That works as well. We're just putting attention on the new idea. We don't even really want them, believe it or not, to watch what we just sent them, because you want to stop them from finishing, essentially, because then you can keep on going, right? But the trick to actually make sure that they keep on buying it is that you need to increase the price, the length, and the excitement each time. So you need to be strategic. When you first send a pay-per-view, a standalone one, there should be room to get more exciting, because it's very hard to sell someone on something less exciting, right? So if you've just sold a sex tape, it's going to be hard to sell a video of just the creator's boobs or something that's 20 seconds, even if you send it for cheaper, because they're not going to give a fuck anymore about that. They want something more, right? It must be more exciting. It must be more exciting. If you want to do pay-per-view looping, which is what this is, where you keep on selling them more, there needs to always be something more exciting. That's why it's so important to make a plan of what you're going to sell, but not only what you sell now, what you're going to sell after that, and what you're going to sell after that. Okay, you are in for a treat now, because this is my diabolical high-ticket urgency pay-per-view strategy that works super fucking well if you want to sell an expensive pay-per-view for $200, right? Which is the most you can charge on OnlyFans right now. So choose a video that is on the riskier side of what the creator will do. And don't overuse this, because it will stop working, right? This is just a tool you can use to sell an expensive video to maybe even a cheaper sub, okay? So, seem genuinely hesitant throughout this whole process. You want to act like this video is so wild or so risky or so out of their comfort zone that they're genuinely unsure about sending it. Not just like, this is the hottest video I've ever done, bae, with the stupid hee emojis and shit. Not that. Seem actually nervous. That's the first thing. We're also going to give them a small window to get it. A genuinely small window. So, the first step is either you bring up or they bring up, what's your hottest video, or you can bring it up. I've got this video that I'm not sure about. I haven't sent it to anyone yet, but it's honestly, I don't know, I'll probably delete it. Like, it's too much to even send on here. And don't go into details. They're going to start to go, oh, really? Like, you have a video like that? What is it? Like, oh, no, play it off a bit. No, like, it's a bit much. I don't think I'll actually end up sending it to anyone. Most people are going to start to get really intrigued by that, obviously. And this is where you go through the push and pull phase. This is really important, because this is how we're going to build up the value of this video. So they're going to ask to see it, most likely. And then you're going to say, oh, I'm really unsure about it. Like, I'm getting sweaty even thinking about it. I'll probably just delete it. I'm nervous, right? So you want to keep pulling back as they ask for it. Keep going, I'm not sure. Then
they might get to a point where they go, oh, well, don't worry, then you're clearly too nervous. That's when you want to like push back and go, oh, but if I was going to send it to anyone, it would be you because, you've always been genuinely respectful to me and I like talking to you and I feel comfortable, yada, yada, yada. So it's like in this sort of middle ground where you're too unsure to send it, but you kind of do want to send it, right? Anyway, now, once you've gone through that push and pull phase, they should be, if you've done this right, they should be like, oh, I really want to see it. Just send it. It's okay. Like, I won't judge you, right? Stuff like that. You need to get it to that point. So do this for like 5-10 minutes. Once you drop it with a caption, something like, and I know it's a lot of words on the whiteboard. Let's say, well, fuck it. I don't know why I'm doing this, but if you really want to see it, I'll give you the choice. I'll probably freak out and unsend it though, so I'd choose fast. Don't send any stupid devil, squirt, fucking dumb emojis. Seem actually nervous to send this, right? Then maybe even send another message and go, I'm probably going to unsend this in 2 minutes. I'm turning my phone off, so get it or whatever. It helps to say something like, the price is like that because I literally don't want you to get it, but I'm giving you the choice, right? Now, if they don't buy it, and I promise you, a lot of them will buy it if you leave them with that. If they don't buy it at first and they go, oh, it's a bit expensive, oh, I'm not sure, then you want to act relieved, be like, oh no, I'm glad. Like, I literally didn't want you to see that. It's too much. Unsend it, right? Hear me out. Unsend it, and then they're probably going to go, oh no, but I actually do want to see it. Like, they're going to feel it slipping away, their chance to see this video. You want to go through a bit more push and pull, and then you give them, only do this once, give them one more chance. If you want to, lower the price a little bit, say like, oh, I don't even know why the fuck I'm doing this. Last chance, otherwise I'm literally going to delete it. Do you get the premise? You don't have to follow that exactly with my caption and everything, but the premise is what matters the most. You're acting like you really are too nervous for them to see this video, and that's what makes them want to buy it. But if they don't buy it and you start going, oh no, but what if I threw in an extra? What if I lowered the price? Like, don't you want to see it? No, you're fucking it up, right? That's not the point. You have to act like you actually don't want them to see it because people want what they can't have. I just thought this was a helpful thing that you could add into your strategy, so do it. Now that's all well and good, but what happens when they don't buy? Well, what a lot of chatters will do is they'll instantly start trying to guilt trip the fan and they'll start trying to just pressure them into buying, and then it just leaves a bad taste in everyone's mouth. Doesn't actually make you that much money. That's why I made an entire video on objection handling about what to do when someone doesn't make it easy. So watch that, that's there. Enjoy the rest of your day.